What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Homeseek. There hasn't been a lot of marketing or anything around this game. I kind of stumbled across it because I like to spend kind of Sunday evenings. I'll sit down with kind of like a hot drink or, you know, with some kind of beverage at the PC, and I like to spend 2 or 3 hours just kind of crawling through all the directories on Steam, and I happened upon this one. And I thought it looked kind of promising. So we're going to take a first impressions look today at the game's demo, which is freely available. I'll have a link for you down below. And we're going to see if it's something that is worthy of our attention. And so anyways, this is a game about building a colony in a post-apocalyptic nuclear annihilated world. It says that there are real-time strategy elements, but much more than that, I can't really tell you, because this is a first impressions video. So we're going to dive on into the first 30 or 35 minutes and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. Down at the bottom with a link to the demo for the game, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live any given day of the week. But let's dive on in. Let's do this thing.
Today's June 6, 2101. I'm afraid that this may be one of the last of my writings. The water's finally run out down here. Just like it did in the old world, all those years ago. The others are finally prepping to leave, to emerge back into the world. Because now they must go, perish from thirst. I was just a child when the rivers ran dry and the bombs began to fall. And now I've lived an entire lifetime in the darkness of this place. I barely even remember the world of my childhood. A world underneath the bright sun and blue sky. My skin is pale, my muscles are weak. I'd only be a burden to them in the harsh journey ahead. They're still young and adaptable. I know firsthand of their strength and resilience. If there's water to be found up there, they'll be the ones to find it. If there's anything to salvage from the ruins, they'll be the ones to do so. They know nothing of the society of the old world. They are the ones who might have a chance to rebuild civilization.
You're not going to take the old guy with you? So the old guy's been looking after you inside the bunker for like the last 50 years. And you're just going to leave him behind? You're going to let him be all noble and be like, I'd just be a burden to you? Like, no, dude. Listen. Get up here. We will carry you if you need to, all right? I mean, I just feel like there should be some modicum and level of loyalty remaining for a guy that's been looking after the bunker for like 50 years. Like, we'll take our chances, you know what I mean? Like, you paid your dues, you're part of the squad, whatever, get up here, man. We'll put you on like a rickshaw or something if we have to. The torn and faded map from the bunker indicates a small valley ahead that has a shallow water table, and there we indeed find 2 simple wells dug by some past group of travelers. Almost miraculously, they seem to have some water left pooling at the bottom, but we doubt the reserves will last us very long. Either way, with our supplies running low, we don't really have much of a choice, and the valley seems like as good a place as any to settle down. Okay, so our community is desperate for water. We got to build an extractor, build a water storage, and then link the extractor with the water storage. Okay, so there's going to be some, like, logistical capacity to the game where we're going to be linking buildings together. All right, fair enough. And then with the last of the rations gone, we need to build a food storage and link the food storage with berry bushes. Let's go ahead, and I guess I've got the game paused. Let's do the water first. So it looks like we've got a well right here that we can interact with. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't know how the building system's going to work, but we'll give it a shot. And then it looks like we don't actually have, like, the water storage. Oh, there it is. It's inside this menu right here. Okay. It looks like it's going to take 2,600 parts. But if we can back it up, like, over to there, that sounds okay to me. And then it also, how many parts do I have? What did that cost me? So let's go back through and do, like, a butcher's bill. So it cost me 4,000 for the extractor. Yeah, that would be one of those things that I should probably keep an eye on then. Let's go ahead and we'll turn the time on and we'll see if we can get this up and running. I'm guessing we probably want to go through the scrap pile and see if we can find some stuff. Yeah, there we go. So we've got 10 out of 15 people right now. Do I need to assign this job here as well? Or is that a thing? Let's see here. Building under construction, but there's not enough links. Okay, well, we'll work on it. Hopefully, oh, there's little people over here. Okay, there they are. So we've got little people walking around down here on the ground. We can't zoom in much further. And it doesn't look like we really have rotational controls or the ability to, like, pitch and pan the camera. Well, we can pan, but we can't, like, pitch or, like, roll the camera or anything else either. And so we're just going to have to figure it out as we go. Let's go ahead and, oh, the water extractor went up quick. Okay. Wait, was that free? Hold on. It didn't seem to cost me any scrap to build that up. Huh. I guess we got a freebie on the front end? I don't know. Let's go ahead and we'll get a couple people working on it right there. I'm assuming that this line right here maybe implies that that's where we become resource neutral, where we've got enough for everybody. Now we need a water storage. So I'll go ahead and do that. We'll put a water storage like right there. That sounds good to me. Seems like the kind of play that'll work. And then water storage cost us 2,500 of our scrap. All right, well, get to it, I suppose. We are going to have to link this up, and it looks like we do have a link menu right here. And we will link it up with the water storage, I suppose. There we go. Our community is desperate for water. Perfect. That should make everybody a little bit happier, too. Oh, and it looks like they're harvesting the scrap now as well. We get 900 per hour? Wow, that's a lot of scrap. Okay, for sure, dude. I'm always down to build an entire lifestyle based on tetanus. There are worse diseases to get, I suppose. In order to build that, we're going to need 2,500 scrap. So it's going to be a minute until we can get food up and running. But I'll probably just put it over here right next to this berry bush, which is conveniently like, I don't know, like in a desert. I don't think I've ever seen berries down in Death Valley or whatever. So I'm just stoked at how fortunate we are. As far as the linking system goes, it seems to work pretty well. And I do like that they've gone with kind of like an analog Fallout 1, Fallout 2 style UI. I think it fits the setting of the game and the atmosphere. There we go. And so now we got people pulling water. Does it say how much we need per day in order to survive off the water we currently have on hand? Doesn't really matter because our food storage is up and running. So we're going to go ahead and link that up. And then we'll take this. We'll connect it over there. And so that is done. We must secure resources for everybody. Add workers to the extractor, the berry bush. And so we need to have 5,000 water. We need to have 5,000 food and 5,000 scrap by the end of the day. Okay. I will do my best. I mean, that's going to be easy. So that's just like 4 or 5 hours worth of harvesting. So that should be done by the afternoon. That guy's going to be done pretty much by the afternoon as well. And then this guy over here, we've got 480 coming on in. Let's bump that up because for 5,000, I was going to say, we need it to be a little bit higher if we want to gather that properly. And then I guess we'll just kind of let it run and see what other crises become available. The game is a little bit minimalist with regards to some of the models and whatnot. Like, it's definitely got kind of like an old school vibe to it. However, all of the menus and everything seem to be functioning so far, and everything seems to be working okay. So that's contaminated water that we're pulling out of the well right there. I feel like after 50 or 60 years, radiation and whatnot should not really be too much of a problem anymore. Like, it'll still be, like, kind of an issue, but, like, you know, 50 or 60 years, I feel like this area should have regrown by now. Then again, I suppose if the water table bottomed out and the aquifers are all done, that might cause some issues too. But assuming all the humans are gone, they should replenish? I don't know. Looks like we're well on our way to hitting our goals. And in fact, the fast forward in this game is a very fast forward. So be careful about this button down here. It'll accelerate you through the entire game. It'll hit you with that gotta go fast energy. All right, so we've got the food secured. What do they desire of me next? What should I be doing? Does this scrap pile run out? Oh, it does in 14 hours. Okay, good, because I want to build over there. Do we have anything else that we can fiddle around with? What does that do? An expedition center, so it looks like we're going to be going out on missions. We have houses. Okay. Yeah, let's do houses, I suppose. Doesn't seem like too bad of a plan. Is that a scrap pile right there? I don't think that's a scrap pile, but let's start future-proofing and maybe building up some houses. Just like little, can I rotate these? Oh, I can, nice. Hell yeah, it's just the R key. Perfect. All right, we'll send some people over there to work on that. It looks like we've got kind of like a Frostpunk style working time. And then we've got like a recreation time, basically. And like from the stuff that I consumed about this game when I was kind of just going through like pages and press kits and things of that nature, the general idea I got is that this is definitely a game that's going to kind of put the screws to you. Like it seems like they're going for kind of like a desert Frostpunk type vibe where there's going to be crises and there's going to be hard decisions you have to make and decide who lives and who dies. Like it's going for a little bit more of like an edgy This War of Mine feel, I suppose, which is great because This War of Mine continues to be one of my favorite games of all time. Of all the indie games ever released, This War of Mine is definitely very, very high up there on the list. Like I can think of very few other games quite as fantastic and quite as replayable as This War of Mine. I just adore that game. All right, the poisons of the old world saturate our food and water, making the simple act of eating and drinking exact a toll on our health. It is certainly no coincidence that an epidemic of illness has surged through the community since we started foraging for our food instead of relying on sterile, prepackaged rations from the bunker. We need to find a way to combat these health concerns. Okay, so we can find a way to address the root cause, or we can treat the symptoms. Let's go for the root cause. Like, honestly, I would probably work on both, but I get that we have limited manpower. Like, we only have 15 people, so it seems to be common knowledge in our community that the water extracted from the wells is filthy and contaminated with toxins. So we need to make an expedition center, and we need to send it to explore the Mudlands. And we've got about 2 days to do that. Our house, it holds 8 people, so we're going to need one more house. How much does an expedition center cost me? Now that it's nighttime, do I actually have to wait through the night? I do. Okay, what I would recommend is maybe having an option that skips the nighttime and just goes straight to the next work cycle. You know, just like a little arrow or something, like right here you can click on to just jump in. And if there's any events, basically you resolve them. It'll fast forward like super fast, like the of time, you know what I mean? And if any events come up, you just resolve them, then it goes back to brrting. Or it goes back to normal speed and you click the BERT button again, just in case you wanted to speed it back up. Either way, long nighttime periods never work for me. Looks like we get up at like 7 a.m. Yeah. A group of strange wastelanders are on our doorstep, apparently wanting to join the community. They speak in a weird accent, and we don't recognize them from our time in the bunker. They must have somehow survived on the surface all of these years, and they have brought food and water in an attempt to convince us of their good intentions. But others of us are prejudiced against their strange mannerisms and do not want to accept them with open arms. Realistically, I feel like in a situation like this, like everybody always talks about, so if you go to old forums, they'd be like, oh yeah, dude, the guy with the most bullets or whatever is gonna win. The guy that's armed up in a post-apocalyptic situation is just gonna steal from everybody else. I sort of feel like that is not the case. I feel like human beings are hardwired to band together when times are tough. Like, we really, really crave that. And my general observation is, it comes down to who has the most friends that's going to run the wasteland. If there's a colony that has like 600 people and is able to reliably feed them, that colony is just going to have a ridiculous amount of hegemony over every other smaller 50, 60 person village in the area and can basically enforce their will as they see fit. Much more than armaments or anything else. I feel like numbers count for a lot. We accept them. However, that has made people a little bit more cranky, but we do have a lot more workers to mess around with now, so that's good. I need the colony to just kind of wake up here. That's what I want more than anything else. Let's get these colonists up and roused. There we go, rousing colonists everywhere. Because we have more time to fool around with and we have more workers, I'm going to go ahead and hardline a whole bunch of scrap. And after hardlining all the scrap, I want to get the expedition center up about as soon as possible. I don't want to leave the game waiting here. Expedition center. Oh, storm warning. Great brown clouds that appear on the horizon threaten to bear down on the settlement. So it's going to occlude our vision and make it impossible to breathe. All right, so they want me to build 2 houses. Fair enough. Let's get it done. I was going to wait on the second house until we had the expedition center up. But if there's a storm coming on in, I want to make sure everybody's not inhaling like shard-like silica particles for the next couple hours. Probably would not work out too well for all the folks in town. So, expedition center, that's going to cost us 7,000. It's a pretty considerable investment. Actually, we should probably get another house up and running too, because each house only holds like 8 people. Let's focus on getting everybody housed. I don't want to have any early casualties if I can help it. There we go. Like, we have basically an enormous amount of scrap. And so I'm not going to worry too much. We have 24 slots. Yeah, we'll just leave Dave out in the cold for right now. I'm not building an entire house for one guy. It just feels kind of wasteful to me. We needed 7,000 in order to get the expedition center done. So there's our 7,000 right there. Expedition center is quite large. Finding a spot for this bad boy is going to be kind of a problem. Yeah, we'll put it right there, I guess, since that's the only place where it fits. As soon as we get these scrap piles knocked out, I think we're going to have a little bit more equitable space, too. I've got people not working. If I've got people not working, consider our options for a second. Can they carry... How far can a link go? A link can go that far. Okay. Well, get after it then. Sounds good. Let's get people to work then. I don't really see any problems here. We'll go ahead and gather what water we can. And we don't really... Is that our income on water? 900 per hour, I think, is our drain. So I'll probably fill up our storage entirely, and then I'll give everybody a little bit of a siesta so that, like, we don't have people maxing out this well, basically. They said that there was 2 wells in this area, but I don't see the second one. Oh, there it is right there. Actually, our building space seems to be quite large. Oh, expedition center's done. Nice. Okay, so we can send out a number of people. Ah, there we go. There's a world map. Okay, so there's going to be varying little metropoli and whatnot that we... Is that how you pluralize metropolis? Select the party and send it to this location by right-clicking on the node. Okay, so we're going to have to put a party together. We like to party. All right, we like to party. Da 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 da. How much food do we need per day? 960. I mean, so technically we're producing enough just from this guy over here to stay neutral, I think. We can slap another one on right there. Let's go ahead and make an expedition. We'll add 5 guys to it. It looks like it expects us to send stuff with them. I don't know if this is for trading or if they have to supply themselves while they are abroad. Okay, so we've actually got like a little notification up here. So make sure you have enough resources before heading out. Every explorer requires 500 food, 500 water, 500 scrap to cover all of their needs. Ugh, how long is the trip gonna be? I have questions. I don't know if I have enough scrap to cover that. So we're sending out 5 guys. Let's maybe send out 3 then. Because then I can send out with, like, I don't know how long this trip is going to take. But we can send them out with roughly enough stuff to get there. And then by going to the world map. Have they already supplied? Go ahead and turn the clock back on for a second. Ah, they've got to gather first. Okay. Select the party and send it on this location by right-clicking on this node. Gotcha. Okay, so explorers look like they're ready. And we're going to send them out to the Mudlands. How long is that going to take? Do I have a synopsis? Like, I really wish I could plan this a little bit better. Like, geographically, how far away is this? How many days is it going to take to get there? I'm concerned. It doesn't look like it's that far. Looks like it's maybe like a half a day. So I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be all good. I don't think we have to be too panicky about it. Yeah, it seemed like it took about, it took about 12 hours to get there, so I think they'll be all right. Assuming they don't have to sit here for, like, long periods of time. All right, so cracked earth and sand give way to viscous mud as we near the wetlands, making our journey all the more arduous. Before we see any water at all, though, we come across a small old ship beach lying on its side on the dry earth. None of us have any idea how it could have gotten here. What should we do? Check it? We spend some time exploring the ship. Oh, it's going to take 4 hours, huh? That's fine. I mean, you can go for it, I suppose. A messenger arrives at the encampment. He has come on behalf of survivors in the bunker who elected not to come to the surface and explore the world with us when supplies got low. He tells us that the starvation was enough to convince even the most stubborn to venture out to the surface, and that they now desperately want to come and live in a new settlement. Considering the lack of supplies, they have already begun migrating in our direction. Okay, so I guess that's probably going to be the main crisis that you've got to deal with right there. Is like hordes of people flooding in every few days, basically. A storm bears down. Let's go ahead and have a look. How bad is it? So we've got some unhappy people. They're depressed. They will not go to work. Their needs in food and water and housing to make them happier. I think we got to finish off that last house. I don't think we have a choice. It seems like it's going to make the whole colony depressed if one guy has to live outside. All right, make another house then. Let's see here. We checked the ship. The engine block can be salvaged, so we got 2,500 right there. Exploring deeper in the wetlands, a single figure appears on the horizon, coming towards us. It walks on stilts through the mud, and with every step, metallic jingles can be heard. It stops before nearing our party, then raises a slathered hand to point at us. What should we do? Give it scrap? We offer it some of our scrap. We should be done pretty soon. We've got more scrap to mess around with, too. Our food and our water seem to be okay. What's wrong with this building right here? Why does it have a little thing next to it? Out of working hours. Oh, okay. I don't think that needs a notification. That's already kind of... I guess that's already kind of implied by the UI. Like, it's assumed, I guess. But then again, you know what Mama used to say. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So, I guess we can't get rid of that right there. Maybe we can just build over the top of it. Go ahead and max out the number of people gathering scrap, too. I want more scrappy dudes. Aw, man. Okay, so, like... What is that right there? Is that like fertile soil for farming? I don't want to build on top of it if it's going to be useful for something later on. We'll get our research center over there, though. We've got the scrap to go around, so why not? And I think these guys are going to be back pretty soon, and then we'll be all right. Oh, apparently I failed the mission, so it doesn't really matter anyways. Honestly, with the amount of time it took me to put that together, I would actually, for a tutorial, none of the missions should be timed for a tutorial. Like, when they're teaching the player how to play the game, there really should not be a time limit on that. A suggestion I would maybe have for that is instead to break apart the main gameplay from the tutorial then. And so have a separate standalone tutorial that is not timed where the player can play at their own pace. And then if they go into the main campaign and they start missing objectives, well, then that'll be their fault because, you know, they didn't play the tutorial first. But in the case of the tutorialization right there, really, there really shouldn't be an expiration date on the basic tasks of, like, this is how an expedition works, this is how farming works, so on and so forth. So we got these guys over here. The mysterious figure receives our offering, reaches into its wrapping, and produces a colorful trinket. It's not very useful, but the gesture of good faith is reassuring, plus happiness. Nice. After hours of trudging, we finally reach the center of the wetlands, a tiny pond lined with reeds, the only water we've seen for miles. It's a lonely, depressing sight against the backdrop of the expanse of gray-brown mud until we notice some of the water near the ferns looks clear and drinkable. We study the effect that the reeds have on the water and harvest samples to bring home. Okay. We can now research the wetlands. Good. You guys head on home. I think one of them died. It said there was only 2 guys left. I don't think it told me that a guy died, but I'm pretty sure a guy died. I think we may have killed a man. It seems possible that I may have killed a man. Let's go ahead and take a couple people off right there because I'd like to purify the water a little bit better. I'm not too upset about people dying. Yeah, let's research the wetlands right there. Ooh, I like this research menu. This is a cool menu right here. I love these little analog toggles and whatnot that everything has, and they all make like a clunk noise when you click on them. Yeah, that's the good stuff when it comes to dopamine right there. All right, so survivors from the old bunker have arrived, weary from their journey, but ready to find some semblance of respite. Nice, dude. Well, the writing is pretty good, too. Like, I've actually really enjoyed the text blurbs that they've had going on as well. Like, visually, the game is not, like, super gorgeous, but when it comes to the art assets that are being used for, like, the storyline portions, and when it comes to the UI design and whatnot, they've done a very, very good job. Like, with regards to the normal graphics, it's kind of a minimalist game, but when it comes to the UI and the UX presentation, they've put a lot of work into it, and it's apparent, so that's good. All right, everybody's back up in the saddle. We are low on food for right now, more than likely due to the fact that we were not able to harvest during the storm, would be my guess. And so I think we are. Let's go ahead and bolster up research where we can bolster up research. And then when it comes to the gathering of water, 1,500 is how much we need to gather water. Okay, so it's definitely taking a toll on us while we're working on that. Like, it's taking some effort. Is this less efficient than that one right there because it's further from the storage? It doesn't actually look like it matters. However, these berries have almost run out, which is going to be hugely problematic. Are there more berry bushes around? There is another berry bush right there. So let's go ahead and, like, before I forget, we'll link it up over there. We have plenty of workers, so let's not overdo it. We're only getting a surplus of like 300 water per hour, which is not great. I would maybe recommend getting the second well up and running with the scrap that we have on hand. In fact, I think I am going to do that. And we'll adjust people around as necessary for the various scrap piles and whatnot we have laying around. 2 citizens have died. Rip. Feels bad. Let's go ahead and get some scrap back. Okay, we've got some scrap. I don't really need to send out expeditions right now. I need to get houses for everybody so that they will be very, very happy and smiling and generally not contemplating impaling me on top of, like, you know, a sharpened street sign. Where did my sound go? Huh. Well, the sound cut out in my headphones, but in my audio monitoring, it was still working in OBS, so I'm guessing that something weird happened. But you guys could still hear it, so you guys were like, it sounds fine to me. Oh, Splat's going nuts again, guys. I'm like, yeah. Happens more and more as I get older, I'll be honest with you. Okay, max out the water extractor, please. Because we need to get our water tuned up. Like, water needs to be in good shape. I'm going to need another house as well. How's the research going? Oh, 66%. Very, very nice. Not quite as good as 69%, which they're about to be hitting because funny internet meme number. But still, close enough. There you go. While toiling away at the day's work, we hear a large crash and howls of pain. When we go to investigate, we find that a pair of community members have injured themselves in an accident. If only the dangers of work weren't unfortunately necessary for our survival. Oh yeah, we got like a lot of wounded people right now. Problematic. Dude, it's like 1 in the afternoon. And we are still really having food issues. Not enough links. Didn't I put you on a link over there? Hold on. What has gone wrong? Well, I guess like the spacebar does pause the game. I think my spacebar is being wonky. It might be time for a new keyboard. I pushed it like 5 times at the beginning and it didn't pause. I think my spacebar is being wonky. It does have kind of a weird feel to it. Sort of concerned. It looks like it dropped all my links to the berry bushes and I don't know exactly why. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned now. A little bit concerned. Make another food storage over here, maybe? Oh, it's got a yellow ring of influence that I didn't see. So I guess this one hasn't been pulling from where we wanted it to go. downshot is, by the time this is fixed, I think people are going to starve to death. Let's go ahead and link it up. There we go. Actually, I like the linking system. The linking system is very, very simple, and it just, like, works. There we go. Gather whatever food you can before nighttime happens. Oh, it looks like at night we don't consume food anyways, so we're okay. All right, crisis averted. I have not cratered my society yet, and that is a good thing. That's a happy thing. However, what that means is that down here with this other well that we just built, I think, looks like we can build the connection. Oh, dude, look at that. They ran a pipe, and we could build it out of different materials. Oh, sweet, dude. I actually didn't expect that at all, but now we're pumping water, and we are sending it back to the main water storage. So I guess you can build, I guess that must have been what thrown me off, is you can maybe link up the water from any distance, but it creates a running pipe that crosses the entire landscape. What happened with our research over here? Did we do good? I think we done good. So permanently increases intake, permanently decreases the scrap cost. Oh, you can actually modify these buildings too. So you can customize them, which allows you to increase the amount of workers and things that you can play around with as well. Well, I will say this. My first impressions are positive. I think it's very, very promising and interesting looking, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on the game as it updates. But yeah, this is Homeseek. I hope you guys enjoyed the last 25 minutes or so. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Homeseek. Go check out the demo. You can play it for yourself. I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. Thank you for the luxury of your time, and it's time for me to go. Bye-bye, everybody.